So today, not only are we going to look at the notes that we left on last week and kind of go back over them, see what we did right, see what we did wrong. Um, we're going to talk about kind of sticking with the same themes that we have been for those of you guys who are new, just as kind of like a brief catch up of what it is that I'm trying to kind of accomplish in terms of value for you guys in these streams is to give you less things to look at, to give you more of a plan, give you guys some simple things to look at, because as we all know, you open a chart and there's a lot to look at. Is it CRT? No, it's not CRT. We talked a little bit about CRT in the last one, which there's a lot of names for it. Some people call it CRT. There's other people that just call it swing point theory. Um, but we're not going to be going over that today. We could definitely touch on it though, for sure. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to isolate the amount of candles that we see on the chart. And what I mean by that is if we can have a very specific framework for, hey, if this candle looks like this, where it has a very strong body and it has very weak wicks, that we could classify it as a certain type of candle, right? So before we do that, right, if we just look at all these candles, it's difficult to say this candle is this candle is that, this candle is this. We need to first get the same definition so that when I speak to you guys, what I don't want when I'm teaching people or when I'm showing them something, what I never want is for them to get lost in technical jargon. I don't want to be tossing up a word salad for you guys being like, well, if you look at the financial instrument, like bro, like I'm really trying to just give it to you simply and effectively because that's what works for me. When I first started trading, I wanted to use everything. I wanted to use volume profile. I wanted to use RSI. Um, I wanted to use all the fucking indicators. I wanted someone to walk into my room, see my screen, and be like, "Holy shit! Like this guy's on some shit." Um, so I'm sure we've all been there. Um, but as we've been learning, simple is better. The psychology part of all this stuff, it's difficult enough mixing in so much analysis. That's where you get paralysis, or it's commonly said analysis paralysis, where you're just looking at so many things are conflicting, that it's very difficult to catch up. So today we're actually going to start with the lesson first, and then um, we'll go ahead and move on to the like market update. Or actually, we'll do that first because I'll probably have to clear these drawings. The boxes that I've made in the last stream that we did, we were talking about the concept of power of three, right? This should look like a range to you. And maybe not on here, but if we maybe isolate it to just this monthly candle, if you're familiar with CRT, then you would be looking at each of these candles as a range, right? Especially on the monthly, it's very clean. Um, but yeah, on the weekly, we can see that this is not a lot of movement, especially when we see this and then a nice V-shaped reversal. Don't really want to be caught in here. We want to be trading this or the move down, right? Yeah, it's very high time frame, but at the same time, it's applicable. You could break it down. The same things I'm showing you here, you could do it on a 15 minute. Let's say that this is a quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, right? Could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Asia, London, New York, and so on, right? So that's what those markings are. Um, yeah, range deviation models. Yeah, could definitely, if we mapped out kind of like what we're talking about in the last one, which is swing points, right? Focusing on these three candles. If I map out how candle one's high was taken and then we closed back inside candle one's range, I can expect candle three to expand lower, right? And if we look at that on a lower time frame, right, we could see we swept it and then we move lower. Okay, so that's a little bit of catch up, but let's talk about we'll actually go to a separate chart so we don't have to take off our drawings. Let's go to gold since we didn't do anything on gold. And let's just start with the lesson. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, if you're getting lost in some of the words that I'm using, please, please ask. The best thing that you guys can do right now is ask questions, try to understand. If you're one of the people that you want to do this for a living, you guys want to get funded, you want to make a lot of money doing this, you want to be able to have a job where there's not necessarily a cap on how much you can make because you can always scale, then asking questions is the best thing that you can do. Okay, so um, we'll talk about that a little bit towards the end, maybe like the last 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and kind of look at what we're looking at BTC. What we said last time, I mean, it was money. Like if you guys took my advice, or if you go back and look at the videos, you're gonna see like we fucking nailed the move. Um, but I just to give you like the quick short answer, I think that higher time frame we're bullish. Mid time frame, this was the pullback that I was expecting, and now I would be looking for a reaction, for price to start to move back up potentially. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So, PO3, swing points, fair value gaps, all of these things have the same thing in common, that we have the number 3, right? Power of 3. There's 3 candlesticks in a swing point. There's 3 candlesticks in a fair value gap, right? So just like how there's 3 for each of those, there's also going to be 3 candlestick formations, okay? So we're going to go over the first one, and when we talk about candlestick formations, I want you guys to think, try and draw a parallel to real life. And what I mean by that is think about what we're doing here, right? We're taking 3 different types of candles, right? One, two, three. And we're saying that this candle is a continuation, this candle is a reversal, this is a consolidation candle, right? We're limiting the amount of things that we have to focus on, and we're getting specific about what it is exactly that we're focusing on so that when we go into the charts, we're only focused on a very small piece of price, relatively speaking. So, that being said, the first kind of candlestick formation, this is going to be the one that you guys want to catch, okay? So, let me actually just separate these a little bit. Hey, welcome, welcome. If it's your first time, I'll do a little um, summary later on. But okay, so we have a bullish and a bearish candle, right? If you guys don't know what a bullish and a bearish candle is, I'm pretty sure most of us do. Red candle meaning that price went down, green candle meaning that price went up, right? And you guys should also know that you can make money going either way. If you bet that price is going down, then you can make money. If you bet price is going up, you can make money. Okay. So let's also understand that in one of the key differences between a bullish and a bearish candle is that a bearish candle is going to open higher than it closes, right? And a lot of people, they don't really understand this concept of that candlesticks, right? They make a high, they make a low, everybody's comfortable with that. But no one really talks about the opens and closes and why they're significant. Yes, making money is definitely the ultimate goal, being consistently profitable. Um, Please, how long does this call usually take? It's an hour. We usually do an hour together. So we got the close here, and then we got the low, right? And the highs and the lows, like those are easy, right? We just look at the wicks, right? The wick high, wick low, that tells us how low and how high price went. Um, in a bullish candle, we open lower and close higher. And when I say open and close, I'm talking about specifically opening and closing in time, meaning that If we're on the 4 hour chart and these are 4 hour candles, when this last 4 hour candle ends, a new one opens, right? Um, so let's just add this low real quick, right? And we'll start getting into the differences. Okay, so as I said, thinking about power of three, right? This is typically how a continuation candle is going to look. And then the 4 hours ends, right? So hour one, two, three, four, and then we close, right? Looking at this 4 hour candle, right? If we imagine that this is a 4 hour candle, this right here in black would be what it would kind of look like on the 15-minute, right? Um, or this could we could imagine that this is a daily candle, right? And if this is a daily candle and you're a day trader, your job is to get good at capturing a piece of this. You don't have to catch the whole thing, but you have to catch a decent chunk, right? Good piece of the move. And as you can see, right, power of three, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, just like we talked about in the last one, right? We can see it on both, on these continuation candles, right? So continuation candles, the reason that we're starting with this one is because once again, if we draw a parallel to real life, this is like if I was taking you hunting, right? Because real traders, they don't chase, they anticipate and they wait for their setup, like a hunter, right? If you're the guy that's running after a deer or a rabbit, you're not gonna catch it. You gotta be the kind of guy that's sitting in the fucking tree with camo on, just patiently waiting for something to walk into that scope, right? Um, so that's kind of what we're doing here, right? We're trying to learn how can we position ourselves? Where does our scope want to be, right? And continuation candles, they're one of the easiest to trade because there's such a small manipulation. And for most of the day or most of the 4 hours, whatever candle you're trading, just like as I mentioned earlier, it's applicable to any time frame. If you're in one of these candles, it's really easy to get on board here, here, right? You get a lot of opportunities and prices primarily moving in one direction, right? Now, if you have a candle that looks like this, right? It's going to be a lot more difficult to trade something like this because you may get enticed to go long here, and then you get taken out, and then maybe you want to go short, and then there's a lot of directional movements. Whereas in a continuation candle, there are not a lot. And for those of you guys that have actually been showing up, put it together, right? It if we had a swing point here, right, it would be candle three that we're trying to focus on, right? Candle three is usually the continuation candle, right? Or candle four. So if we can kind of think about this for a moment, like I said, in terms of hunting, this is like getting the fucking, like the elk or the big ass moose. This is money. This is gonna put food on your table for a fat amount of time. This is the thing that you want to be most focused on, especially in the beginning, because it's the easiest and it pays out the best and it's the easiest thing to trade, right? So a lot of what I teach, we're going to keep it in the realm of logic. And what I mean by that is um, we're going to use if and then statements. So, for example, for the continuation candle, if a candle has relatively weak wicks compared to a strong body, then it is a continuation candle, right? So, maybe a little bit towards the end, we'll do a little quiz. We'll kind of see who's paying attention, maybe who's grasping things. Um, Once again, same thing for the bullish candle. If we have relatively weak wicks, and what do I mean by weak? I mean that there was not a lot of movement, right? Now, if we had a wick like this, right, where it shoots all the way down, that's a lot of movement, right? On a lower time frame, that's that's a lot of movement right there, right? So, um, let me just fix that. Right, so once again, small wicks, strong body, we have a continuation candle. Okay, so that's the first kind of candle. And once again, the reason that it's really good to trade is because for most of the day, you're moving in one direction. So if you can get good at knowing when these candles are going to pop out, even if you're wrong at first, you'll still be able to make a lot of money. It's my bread and butter personally. And guys, like remember, um, I learned from the people that I mean, in my own opinion, they're the best. You know, they're the people that are on the Robbins Cup leaderboard. You know, a lot of people don't know that about me. That I learned from someone who was on the Robbins Cup leaderboard. And if you guys don't know what that is, think about it. Is it's like the Olympics of trading. It's a year-long competition. So it's very competitive. It's very difficult. Um, very prestigious. Okay, so take these things and really, really look at what I'm telling you because it's good stuff. So now that we have continuation candle out of the way, we're gonna look at a reversal candle, right? Now, for a reversal candle, all we're really thinking about is if we have a bearish candle, then I'm looking for a strong higher wick. Okay? If we have a bullish candle, I'm looking for a strong lower wick. Okay? Because let's think about what's happening on the lower time frame when we have a very pronounced wick like this, right? Price opens up, right? We're moving up, we're moving up, we're moving up. Think about what's happening here. Who's getting enticed here? Buyers or sellers, right? Mostly buyers because price just looks like it's moving up, it's moving up. Now, if you're really good, you will know that this is accumulation, strong manipulation, and then eventually distribution. But like I said, think about what's happening. Buying, 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 buying. All of those people that were trying to get on board on that and thought that they were safe, now they get wrecked, right? So once again, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That's what's happening when we see a very large wick, right? So for a bullish iteration of this, right, it would be the opposite, where sellers are getting faked out, right? Price keeps going lower and lower and lower, right? So all the people that want to go short, they're like, oh shit, today's super easy. Price is just moving down, like that shit's fucking going straight to zero, and then you start getting that reversal candle, right? Where once again, all of these sellers wiped out now. What sessions should we expect this, please? Um, if you're talking about like London and Asia and New York, that's a very, very good question because once again, guys, like we can start to add so much shit to this. Like we can start to say, I've noticed through my own observations that reversal candles, the reversal usually forms after 10 o'clock New York session. Okay? Now, once again, think about what we're doing here. Not only are we looking for a reversal candle, but now we're looking at it from a specific point of view where it's time related. Now I'm looking in windows of time, not just price or candles, right? I'm usually looking for that to start in that time window. 2 hours, right? 2 hours where you're looking for that kind of that price movement. Now, is it always going to happen at that exact time? No. But probability wise, that's where it's mostly happening, right? Um, what time frame? Well, if we're using sessions, you would probably want to be on anything lower than a 1 hour, like 30 minute, 15, 5, 1. Um, but what I'm teaching you, you have to remember that price is fractal, meaning that what I show you here doesn't matter what time frame. It could be 4 hour, daily. This is still all applicable, right? So that's a really good question. So for a reversal candle, let's go back to the if and then statement, right? If we have a strong opposing wick, and what do I mean by opposing wick? I mean that if price is real intention is to go down, sorry, I disconnected for a second, but if price's true intention is to go down, then it's safe to say that this move up was the manipulation, right? That was the false move, that was the opposing move. You know, some people call it the Judas swing, and um, I heard this like little the reason why they call it the Judas swing, and it kind of helps to make sense, right? So usually there's something called a Judas sheep, right? And the Judas sheep's purpose is to lead all of the other sheep, right? All the other sheep follow this one sheep. And right before the Judas sheep walks into the slaughterhouse, it just goes to the left, and all of the other sheep end up walking into the slaughterhouse. And it's exactly the same thing that's happening here. Retail traders, they're following the Judas sheep. They're falling for this move. They're like, holy shit, look at price move. And right at the last second, that sheep turns away, and then you get the real move in price, right? Effectively taking out early shorters and longers at the same time, right? So market moves efficiently. So going back to that little saying, right? If we have a strong opposing wick, then we have a reversal candle, right? Now, the size of the body doesn't matter that much, right? We're just looking for wicks on this one, which is a little bit different from the continuation candle, right? Now, this candle, the way that I would want you guys to utilize it is after you see this form, if you can see this form in a key level like a fair value gap or uh, or taking out a swing low or swing high, I guess swing high in this case, then that's your cue that hey, the next candle that's going to be candle 3, likely to be a continuation candle. And we'll go ahead and look at some of the different examples of that on the charts in a bit, right? So once again, if we have strong opposing wicks, then we have a reversal candle, right? You can trade this. It's a little bit more difficult. It takes a little bit more experience. Um, but you definitely can trade it. So the next candle that we're gonna do is a consolidation candle. Okay. Now, consolidation is a fancy way of saying low volatility. And volatility is a fancy way of saying movement in price, right? So we're going to make these consolidation candles, and I want you guys to take note of the size of the bodies and the size of the wick, right? We're going to leave this reversal candle here, and let's just draw a comparison, right? Price opens up, it makes its high, makes its low, and then it closes, right? Comparatively, the consolidation to the reversal candle, we open up, we make a significant move lower, and then a significant move back higher. Which one of these, if these are both 1 day, which one do you guys want to trade, right? The one with significantly more opportunities and directional movement, right? Because in a consolidation candle, we don't have a lot of movement, right? It's low energy. And just a little tip, if you see multiple consolidation candles building up, the more of them that build up, the more explosive you can anticipate the next move to be. Okay, so here's a bullish consolidation candle. And so the if and then is going to be if the candle has a weak body and weak wicks relatively, then it's a consolidation candle. And with these candlestick formations, this is going to be like one of the only things I teach where there is an element of subjectivity because maybe this is weak to me, but maybe it's not weak to you, you know? Maybe something a little bit more like ambiguous like this. Like you might be tempted to call this a reversal candle, but you got to kind of look around. So yeah, it is a little bit subjective, but for the most part, it still operates within our framework and we can still apply some logic to it. So those are the 3 candlestick types. Okay, so once again, we have continuation candle. Let's go ahead and find 3 examples of a not a consolidation candle, what's it called? A continuation candle, right? So remember, first things first, when you guys are practicing this, you got to ask yourself, if the candle has small wicks but a strong body, then we have a continuation candle, right? And let's take a look at this one. Strong body, relatively small wicks comparative to the body, right? Same thing with this one, right? Same thing here, right? Let's look for a few more. This is a very good example. Look at how small those wicks are. right? Strong bodies. Okay. So now we'll look for some reversal candles. And here's the thing about reversal candles that is a little bit tricky. But if you guys have confidence in your pattern recognition, um, I think you'll do fine. You might have to practice a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like you guys should be, um, after you guys get out of the sessions, the next day, hop on the charts, look for these things that I'm telling you because they repeat and you can take advantage of the moves that they give you. Right? So let's look for reversal candles. As I said, this right here has a strong lower wick, right? Now, you may be tempted to call this a bearish reversal candle because it's a black candle, but because it's a move lower that gets eaten up significantly, right? That's going to be a bullish reversal candle. So that's the tricky thing about those continuations. A bullish continuation is always going to be the white candle. Bearish continuation is always going to be a black candle, right? But with reversal candles, you have to kind of ignore the color a little bit, right? So like notice, right? Even though this is a bearish reversal, or it's not a bearish reversal candle. Even though it's a bearish candle, it's a bullish reversal, and look at what price does after. Significant movement higher, right? What happened on gold? Like what was it like last week? Yeah, last week on Friday. And takes out all of these lows, right? And it stabs significantly lower. All of that gets eaten back up. There's candle 3. If candle 3 doesn't expand, we know candle 4 will do the job. And there it is, right? That's the candle we would have wanted to trade, or holding a trade from here to there, either or. So now we'll look for a few more examples, right? Here's a bearish reversal, right? It's stabbing higher, making people think, oh, it's gonna go higher, and then it's like, nah, psych, and then it moves lower into a key level, right? Once again, bearish reversal because it's a stab higher, right? And then you get things that are a little bit more obscure, right? This is what I meant by it can be a little bit subjective. Like, what are you gonna call this one? Because it does have a long wick, but it does have a strong body, right? For me, any significant stab lower, especially into a key level like this for a value gap, I'm gonna be calling a reversal candle, right? Because it has the added context of also hitting a key level. So in gold chart, can we also make strategy based off different sessions like London, America, Asia? Absolutely. That's one of the things that you would want to be thinking about. If we drop down to the 15-minute, right? Um, let's see, let me just, there it is, show past sessions. If you and I, let's say we went over 1 year's worth of price action, and I know 1 year's a long time, but these are genuinely things that I was doing myself. Uh, if you can just look at the chart, right? Blue is New York, this teal is London, Asia is purple. I can already see usually what session do I want to be trading gold, just based off of the past few days, right? Which one is going to be higher probability? And this is a question for you guys, like an actual question. I want to see some answers. Does Asia, does the purple one look like the session that you guys would want to be trading mostly? Is it London? Is it New York? Right? And you kind of play this game where you're looking for the past few days. What session has been the most reliable? Yep, there you go. New York, right? New York has the bigger moves. Now, the guys that are saying Asia, I know why you're saying Asia, and it's probably because you're familiar with gold. And usually Asia does give nice moves, right? So like there's a good example there. That's a good move too, right? Um, but for the vast majority of the time, right, New York is the one that's really giving us those pronounced movements, right? And once again, we're not doing anything special other than just looking. What have the sessions provided us? There's a good Asian session, right? Good New York session, right? So BTC's daily candle that we have now, it's showing bullish signs. Let's see. So there's that key level we drew last time. the stab lower, right, into a key level, which is this fair value gap, right? If today closes and it has a nice wick like this, right? It doesn't keep going down. It doesn't close outside of the fair value gap, then yes. And so if I was trying to take a trade, right? One of the things I'd be looking at is okay, if I'm on the daily, and you guys remember the time frame alignment when we went over, from daily we go to what time frame? The 1 hour, right? So what I would be looking for on the 1 hour is I'm looking for that inversion. I want to see price disrespect the bearish fair value gap. Now, if we can disrespect this one, if we can close above here, um, that would be bullish for me. If you wanted to get a little bit riskier, you could say if we close above this one, I might go into something, right? Because we closed below it, we're about to close below it again. If we can close back above, that would support an idea to start trading higher, especially because we have so many stacked highs and lows. Remember what I told you guys last time, that if you can find symmetricality in a market, pay attention to it because it's likely to be ran out, right? So if you notice, we have a lot of relative equal highs up here, right? A lot of liquidity up here because what's above these swing highs is money, right? Money in form of stop losses. So we have a lot of relative equal highs that I would be looking to target, but I need some confirmation on this time frame that that now we're going to start to move back up, right? Because as we know, some of the things that we've been focusing on is trading in expansion, anticipating the reversal, not reversal, the retracement into the key level, and then the expansion back out of it. Because price does not move like this, right? It moves a lot more like this, right? Where we get retracements, putting in higher lows, right? And making new highs. So yeah, I would say it's shaping up, but we need the confirmation, right? Because we can't just take it and be like, oh, there's a reversal candle, let's take the trade. No, right? We gotta have a little bit of a stronger thesis. You gotta think about it like you're trying to convince somebody to go in with you, which you you definitely shouldn't do. Um, but it was like like the difference would be, yo, Sneak, I think you should take longs with me because we just printed a bullish reversal candle versus, yo, Sneak, I'm kind of down to go long right now because we're printing a bullish reversal candle inside of a fair value gap and we have a lot of stacked highs, and overall on the higher time frame Bitcoin is bullish, right? So something like that is a lot more like, oh shit, you might actually want to take the trade with me now because there's a lot of confluencing factors, right? Um, so let's do a little quiz and then we'll go over the market. And we'll go over some requests if you guys want to look at some coins, if we want to talk about like what to expect this next week, that kind of thing. So let's do a little quiz, and who knows, maybe Mitchie's gonna choose the guys for the giveaway that are participating. Okay, so we'll do it. We'll do an easy one first. What kind of candle formation would this be, guys? And I'll go ahead. I'll type them out right here. I have continuation, right? AKA strong body, weak wicks. We have a reversal candle. Nice. Let's go. Very nice, guys. Very nice. So we can clearly identify this as a continuation. Why? Because we have a strong body, weak wicks, right? How about this one, fellas? Do we think that this is a continuation, reversal, or consolidation? D's on the ball today, man. Shit. Nice. Yup. Crypto G got it right. Merch. Haviz. Yup. Jake. Very nice. Yep, it's a bullish reversal candle, right? We have a strong wick lower, and what happens over the next few weeks? This was the low, right? And once again, most of the time, not all the time, the reversal candle is going to be the one that if you see it and you know start to know what to expect, you can make a lot of fucking money, right? Let's look at some examples of that. What do we got right here, guys? What are we thinking on that one? Yep, yep, exactly. Reversal. If you saw this print, if we went back in time and you saw a reversal candle, and you saw it happen where? Not just any reversal candle, but a reversal candle in the fair value gap. Look at the next candle, look at the next candle, and remember, these are weekly candles, so that's 7 days, that's 14, that's 21, that's 28, and so on, right? There's a, I mean, if you're trading in weeks like this, it gets kind of hard to lose, right? When you have the proper bias. This one's a little bit more tricky, right? The next week consolidates, next week moves up, right? We hit this bearish for value gap, so you would have probably been like, okay, let me take some off here. We won't talk about this today, but we hit the midpoint of this wick, which we can also treat as gaps, right? We form a low, and then next week, next 3 weeks, we get bullish price action. We pull back into a fair value gap, we create another reversal candle, and look at what happens. So once again, if you guys go on your charts, you don't have none of the things that I tell you, you don't have to believe. I'm a random dude on an internet. Take what I'm saying and go try to debunk it. See if what I'm telling you is not true. Investigate it for yourselves, because when you guys start to see it for yourselves, you're gonna there's like a nice motivation feeling of like, oh shit, like you're telling me that if I really focus on reversal and continuation candles, I can get good at anticipating when they're gonna show up. That sounds like making money to me, right? So once again, we can see bearish reversal candle. What happens? Lower. Um, we'll use only obvious ones right now. Bearish reversal, taking out a swing high. We move lower, right? How about this one, guys? What do we think about this? What candle formation? This black one right here. Very nice. Yep. And yeah, people also call them doji candles if you guys have ever heard that terminology. Um, yeah, that is what they call a doji candle for sure, which is yeah, the same thing. Consolidation candle, right? So most of you guys got that right. That's good. Okay. Let's do let's do two more, right? How about this one? This is a super funky looking candle, right? Yep, exactly, right? Why is it a reversal candle? Because we have a long pronounced wick. Now this is one of the ones where we didn't get, an immediate move back up. Yep, yep, definitely. It's the manipulation candle for sure, right? And it's a big move lower, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? Cool. So I think you guys honestly, you've fucking killed that test. So that's good. That shows that the transfer of knowledge is happening. It means that we're learning something, um, and that's good. And like I said, go back on the chart and think to yourself, what happens after reversal candles usually is something that you want to be a part of, right? Reversal candle, I want to be a part of this fucking move, right? Reversal candle, I want. Yeah, it's time to get a new mic, boys. I don't know why the fuck it does this. It doesn't do it for anything else other than when I stream. Um, yeah, AMD, power of three, they're synonymous, right? This guy's is NVIDIA. Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, like I said, all of the major tops and bottoms are usually characterized with that, a reversal candle. And what comes after reversal candles? Usually continuation candles. The candles that you guys want to be capturing, right? And like we said earlier, we're kind of thinking about this shit like we're hunting, right? If you guys want to trade a consolidation candle, that's the equivalent of like you killed a fucking squirrel and you get like a string of meat versus killing a moose and having food for a long ass time, right? So, with that being said, if there's not any questions, if you guys got that down, it's going to be really cool because tomorrow we're going to tack something onto that and we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to keep adding layers and layers of clarity. Think about it. The other people that trade that are not in this Discord, that are not attending these sessions, you say, "Yo, bro, what would you call this candle?" They would be like, that's like a big green candle." Right? There's no specificity in it. If you don't have any specificity, then you're not really going to be able to create a system where it's rooted in logic. The giveaway works by you show up, you participate, and I think maybe, what is it, at the end of the week, if you attended all of the streams, you're eligible for the giveaway, which is honestly, it's fucking cool that they're doing that like literally every single week because you can make a lot of money with with those funded accounts, right? You look at the total payouts, I'm looking at it right here right now, $26,000 have been paid out, and it's you know, ATS is relatively new, my opinion. Yep, that was the Sendu candle for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that sneak. Appreciate it. Okay, so this is the first stream of the week, so you're still on point, bro. But maybe ask Michi for the exact criteria. But I know you have to definitely, you gotta show up. So now let's talk about what we wrote for our notes and let's see how it played out. Now, last week I told you guys, even though price is moving up right now, I'm not so I was telling you guys, I'm not in a rush to be bullish, especially when we're moving into a key level like this. No, thank you. Uh, Even if price continues to go up after this move right here, a lot of people were like, "What the fuck?" Like, bro, like it's a pretty big move down, right? And it's reacting right off of our key level. We go to Sol, we see the exact same thing, right? Ignore this for now. How did we draw the Solana one? We went to our weekly chart, right? Guys, what candle is this? Tell me. Tell me. What candle formed in the bearish fair value gap? Exactly. So when I give you guys a key level, you can go on your chart and you know exactly what kind of candle to look for, right? And if you attended the other sessions, you know what those key levels look like as well. Exactly, reversal. And what happened the next candle? Money. Candle 3, that's the money candle. Continuation candle, that's the count the bands candle, right? That's the one that gets me excited. Now, let's see, how much time do we have? Okay. I'll briefly touch over this just like I did last time. Also notice we have a flat top here. Anytime a candle has a flat top, let's just say that it tells me that this move is likely to be manipulation and that we're likely to come back up here and fill it. And it makes sense to me. Why are we manipulating? What are we manipulating into? A key level, right? What do I want to see happen now? I want to see on the 4 hour, I want to see an inversion. If we can close above this fair value gap, aka what is this? 137, I'm going to be trading up into at least this high, right? Might get the full move all the way up here back up to 147, but we'll have to see, right? So we'll put this one in gray because it's kind of pending, right? We want to see it close above. So that candle stick pattern though, where we have a flat top, we call that the devil's mark. Okay, it's a one candlestick pattern. It's one of the only ones that's just one. Um, but yeah, so right now we're moving into a key level, and if we print a bullish reversal in here next week, you guys know I'm looking for longs. If you're trading Solana, um, on your fundeds or your evals, there's a good move coming for you, right? And once again, we're waiting. Do I have to get involved now? No, I can wait. I could wait for confirmation, or I could even just wait for next week, right? And I could wait for that open, low, high, and then close, right? So we pretty much nailed it on Solana. Another thing that I had mentioned is on the monthly. We also have a huge monthly fair value gap. Whenever we have these high time frame fair value gaps, even if you're bullish, you have to expect some measure of like retracement to come from them because they're high time frame, they're very strong, right? So I'm still overall bullish, except, I need to see confirmation here. Otherwise, I'm not going to get on board, right? So we nailed it on Solana. Um, Now my analysis for moving into this next week, I want to see this week start to print that candle, right? Print that reversal candle, potentially move back up throughout the week. And then if there's any opportunities, we would for sure take them. But likely we're going to be waiting for that next week, right? Where we already have the reversal candle, so it makes things high probability, and then we're going to look for a move up into that high, right? So that's what we said on Sol. If you guys paid attention, if you mapped out what I did on my chart on your own, you could have made some easy money. Look at that move right there, right? That's a money move. You went short up here, put your stop up here at that high, you made money. Even without doing anything intricate like confirmation or stuff like that. It's literally money, right? Now, easier said than done because there's a lot of psychology involved, but again, here is proof that, I'm not talking hindsight, guys. Like, I'm not just cherry picking examples. This was me saying that something was likely to happen and then it happened, right? I guess we didn't draw anything on Ethereum. Yeah, we didn't do anything on Ethereum. Bitcoin, just that weekly gap, right? Let's check the monthly real quick. Monthly, same thing. And what do we have on the monthly on Bitcoin? We've got a devil's mark lower. So that's something to be wary of. Um, if we create a bearish reversal candle here, and we don't start moving back up or closing above this bearish for value gap, that's bad news. But so far it looks decent. What else did we talk about? Do we do NQ? Um, I don't remember if we talked about NQ, and these notes are kind of old, so we'll skip down. I think we did near maybe. Do you guys have any requests for today? Anything you guys wanted to look at? Yeah, I mean, near does not look good. Um, I was looking for a move up into here, and we just fell short of it, right? So we were bearish, uh, but we didn't necessarily get a setup, and that happens sometimes, right? We looked at, I can't even remember the other ones, bro. Okay, we got Dash. Are we talking DoorDash or actually I'm just gonna assume you're talking about like Dash the crypto, because I don't think anybody here trades that. Whoa, that's crazy. Crazy candle. Let's see, let's look at the monthly. Check it out. Where did we come from, guys? A bullish fair value gap, right? Pretty massive one too. Right, so I would have went on the monthly, I would have went on the daily, and I would have been looking for an inversion, but this chart's pretty messy. Um, so we had a really big move on Dash. For me personally, for me to want to get on board, I need to get into discount, right? I don't want to be going long in premium, right? So if we cut that move in half, there's our discount, here's our premium, right? So I would really like it if we could move down here. If we can get into this fair value gap, I would like to potentially get into longs. Um, can we also look at the daily? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, this is the daily. Um, well, what else? Litecoin. So whilst looking out for this candlesticks, do we have to stick to monthly and weekly, or can we also look at daily? Anything 4 hour and above is considered high time frame. So anything 4 hour and above you can use, and that can be your high time frame. That's your framework. Um, Me personally, the weekly and the daily, I really like aligning them because there's a simple rule. If the monthly's clean, then the weekly will be clean. If the weekly is clean, the daily will be clean. And when you get that kind of alignment across multiple high time frames, you're in the right place. But it's not needed. You could just look at that one high time frame. You don't have to combine all of them. Okay, let's look at Litecoin, Dino Coin, Shitcoin. God damn. Yeah, that should I do not look good, man. I mean, shit. I This is not usually like the kind of coin I want to trade. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, back then, like when we had this move up, like it was just crazy because it's like, bro, it's a Litecoin. Like Litecoin is not that good. Um, but yeah, so if I was to look for a position, I think we'll probably still move back up and form this upper wick. When this week ends, there's likely going to be some bearish fair value gap here. I would like to see a move back up and then back down into this low. And then we have a bearish order block right here too, which we won't go over today. So yeah, Litecoin's not looking too hot. It's looking a little dim. I have to change it to fucking dark coin or something. I don't know. World Liberty 5. Do they even? Oh, they do. Oh, this is an interesting chart actually. Okay, cool. So straight off the weekly, your eyes should low-key be like snapping on. Yeah, we're doing dad jokes, even though I'm 24. I'm not a dad either. Playing early. All right. So we have this bullish fair value gap, right? We can see just on some basic level that we have a low, a fucking massive bullish reversal candle, right? A low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So bullish structure, right? We're not making new lows, we're making new highs consistently and respecting old lows. Um, so I would expect that we continue to move up from here, especially if this week prints a bearish, not bearish, a bullish reversal candle. Um, I'm gonna be looking for price to move back up here, and we're gonna leave these notes here again. Every day that we come back to the stream, we're gonna look, right? Because I want you guys to see, I'm not making promises to nobody. I'm making proof, right? I'm showing you guys. This is how, this is how I earn my living. Been doing it for 8 years, so yeah. So I'm confident. So on the weekly, we have that. On the 4 hour, I would already be long here, to be honest with you. Um, I would have got in on the retest of this inversion, right? Let's talk a little bit about that inversion right there. So we had this bearish fair value gap get disrespected after after we hit a key level. That's important, okay? Because it's telling us the momentum's likely shifting. Now, if we close back below it, then I'm gonna stay out and wait. But right now, I would have been in the position. I'd be taking it on the retest of that inversion. I don't like putting my stop all the way down there, to be honest, especially because I'd want to be aiming for these highs. So I could put it like this and get like a 1-to-1 if I wanted to. We got options here. We could take this, right, and get a little bit more risk to reward. We can even scrunch it up a little bit, get 2 risk to reward, and probably take a nice little swing trade. Or if we wanted something a little bit shorter term, we would put our stop loss there and we would target these relative equal highs, right? So that would kind of be like the minimum, and then that would be like if we could potentially capture the full move. So we'll go ahead and we'll leave these here, right? Because I want to come back to them. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking on World Liberty 5. That's a good chart. That's a good call out. I have not traded this at all. Okay, so Zcash. Let's take a look at Zcash. Bro, these privacy coins, like, they've been doing pretty solid. Let's see. Um, I don't know what these notes are, to be honest. I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing last time on the Zcash chart, but taking a look at it, we have a disrespected weekly fair value gap, right? So we have an inversion here, and it overlaps with this bearish candle, right? Now we're also taking out a low, okay? So we don't just look for reversals and fair value gaps. We're also looking for them at swing points, swing highs and swing lows, right? So if this week closes bullish reversal candle, then I'm expecting a move back into here, okay? Right? And at that point, I don't want to be long no more. Like as soon as we touch that, I'm out and I'm waiting potential bearish reaction. So that's what I think about Zcash. Algorand. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, you guys are loving the dino coins. Algorand's old as fuck. Yeah. Um I mean this chart looks like ass, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like oh actually it's not too bad. If it once again, and we're gonna use the same shit all the time, right? I have obviously more things in my repertoire, but for us working together, we're doing this. So we've got that bullish fair value gap, right? And we're printing a bullish reversal candle. But once again, it's barely Monday. Um, I want to start calling these reversal candles until they're actually reversal candles. But for now, that's what it looks like, right? So if we can close back inside of this fair value gap, then minimum target I'd be looking for is here. And these targets, guys, like, I mean, like, with 10x leverage, like, you have 200% right there, right? So, uh, don't be focusing on trying to catch, like, bottom with spot or something like that. And trying to get, like, something like that. Just capture these moves. Throw a reasonable amount of leverage on it, too. Okay, so we did Algorand, Sui, Tau, and Pump. Alright, bet. Let's do it. And as you guys can see, right, like a lot of the charts, they start looking similar. Um, and us reading these charts together, it's gonna make it to where when I'm not here, you guys can read them by yourself. You won't need me anymore. And that's kind of like what we're working towards, right? So once again, um, we have a bullish for value gap, we have a devil's mark, and we have a move lower into it. So what do I want to see? I would like to see a bullish reaction. This wick starts moving up, aka look for some inversions on the 4 hour, right? It's gonna be kind of difficult because it's a pretty long fair value gap. But yeah, if we start to see kind of like a basing out in here, right, and then we start moving up, kind of like at this point, I'm gonna be of the opinion that we're going for all this liquidity up here. But we need that confirmation first, right? And then, yeah, this chart I wouldn't be too crazy about trading until next week. Um, let's look at Tau. Tau's one I haven't heard in a long time, but during the bull run, that shit was like, I don't know. People were saying that that was like the new Bitcoin. We got some really old notes here. I think I was just looking at this, to be honest. And this is like way back, right? That accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? But yeah, let's look at current price. So again, I'm going either monthly or weekly, whichever one looks cleaner to me. But here we go, weekly. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of the same things line up on all the different alts, right? Where we have a bullish fair value gap that we're moving into. We're we're in the stages of making a reversal candle and moving back up into this high, right? So same thing, we'll be on the 4 hour. I'm looking for a close above this fair value gap here. Okay, we'll go ahead and put it in gray because it's kind of pending. Okay, if we can close above, there, then we get our trigger as soon as we close above here, right? And then we can start looking to go long into these relative equal highs up here, and then is a running target. Could look into there. All right, and then we'll look at pump as our last one, which I also have not seen the pump chart in a very long time. Okay. Let's see. Oops. We have this weekly inversion that it looks like we're keying off of right now. Or actually, no, it's not an inversion yet. We didn't close above. Let's try monthly, nah, daily. So on the daily, we have a pretty massive bullish reversal candle forming. So, and we have some relative equal highs up here. So if we can close today like this, I mean, I would wait for this fair value gap that's going to form in about like 2 hours. If we can close above here, then we get our trigger, and then we can trade it up into here. Which, you know, from there to there, that's 25%. You don't need that whole move. A piece of it should be just fine. So yeah, bullish pump for sure. Okay, guys. So just to recap, we went over the different candle formations, consolidation, so weak wicks, weak body. We went over reversal candle, strong wicks. We went over continuation candles, small wicks, strong bodies. Um, and then we went over the market update, kind of showed you guys some practicality of these candle formations and how usually when you see them form, you can get a lot of really good information that will help you anticipate what the next move is. Okay. So, yeah, that looks like that's going to be our time. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can feel free to DM me. You can tag me in the Discord if you want to show me a chart. Uh, for sure, you guys could just ping me, let me know. It's super easy for me to just take a quick glance and let you know if you're on the right track. No problem, guys. Appreciate you all showing up. You know, I hope I keep giving you guys value. And yeah, let's make some money together. For sure, guys. Appreciate you. Good work today. All right, well, I'm gonna end the stream here. Remember that the sessions are being recorded, so if there's something that you guys miss and you want to go back or you missed a stream and you want to catch up, they're getting these posted, so take advantage of that. It's really cool that they're doing that. So yeah, there it is. Yep, live stream archive. Sweet. All right then, fellas. I'm gonna head out now. Have a good rest of your week. Keep your weekly expectations in mind. Maybe you sit do nothing this week. Maybe you get in next week if you're a little bit more advanced. You could probably hop in this week and yeah, let me know what you guys are looking at. If you guys want to make some call outs, if a chart looks interesting, I'm here trading too, you know, so let's all call out to each other different things that we see, kind of help each other out. All right then, fellas. Peace out.